Okay, so you're a truck driver and you're trying to figure out what should you be paid when you're running over the road. You might be looking for a job, and you need to know how much you should be paid. Or maybe you're a owner operator, or you have a trucking business and you're looking for talent and you're trying to figure out, well, how much should I pay this guy? He has this many years experience. He doesn't have this many experience. Whatever. Well, in this video, we're going to go over a couple things as it pertains to truck drivers, how much they make currently in the market, how much they should be paid, in my opinion, things like that. And at the end of the video, make sure you stay to the end, because at the end, we're going to talk about some money that my drivers has made and what they make, right? So make sure you stay to the end, all right? Let's get into the video. So let's jump straight into it. Your first driver is going to be your steering wheel holder. Why do they call them that? Well, because all they do is just drive. You see what I'm saying? So they don't really do much more of anything but just drive. Most of the time they complain about everything, right? And typically they want to get paid the most, right? When I say they just drive, they don't really drive a manual. They probably just drive automatics. They really can't drive too many different trucks, no hood trucks. When I say hood trucks, long hoods on it. They only can drive the short hood trucks. They only can drive dry vans, reefer, stuff like that. They really can't, deal with any, open deck stuff or anything that they got to get out and really do much of anything. They're probably wearing flip-flops everywhere they go, slippers or whatever. They go to the shipper, they go to the receiver, they in the truck stop, wherever they at, they wearing slippers all over the place. And look, I don't have nothing against it. I'm just, I'm just saying. So, and they typically complain about everything. Hey man, I've been at the ship all day, at the receiver all day, and blah, 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 right? Not saying that people want to stay at the ship and receive all day, but in my experience, the ones with the less experience mostly complains a lot, or the most, right? And they want to get paid the most. If you're looking for a driver, you might want to stay away from these type of drivers. And if you're a driver and you want to get paid a lot of money, you might want to not be this driver. Typically, they only make anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a week driving over the road. All right. So next up, we have what we call the super trucker. These are gonna be your guys in your Facebook groups. All right. They're gonna, you post something in a Facebook group, they're gonna jump on it like a fly on you know what. All right. And they're going to just try to rip you apart, and reason being is because they really think they know everything, right? Because they're a super trucker. These are your guys that they say they got all this experience, or they actually might have all this experience, and they just think they know everything. But their driving is great because they're a super trucker. They've been doing this a while, right? And they will fix minor repairs, right? The steering wheel holder, they probably don't drive too well, and they definitely not about to fix no minor repairs, right? They're not changing no light bulbs, they're not changing the mud flap, they're not changing fuses, they're not gonna change a quick little airline with 2 crescent wrenches, nothing like that. They definitely don't know how to crimp an airline and in case a chamber went out and brakes locking up and nothing like that. They're definitely not doing that. The super trucker gonna know how to do that. Why? Because they love what they do, right? And they're way better than the steering wheel holder. And they, like I said about the Facebook groups, they stay connected with their community, right? Now I can create a whole list of a lot more stuff than this, but I'm just gonna go through some quick stuff, right? And then, like I said, we're gonna get into this paper. But that's your super trucker. Your super trucker is going to tend to make, a little bit or a lot more than your steering wheel holders. They ride around $1,200 to $2,000 a week for over the road. They're typically going to stay out. They're not going to complain too much about stuff because, like I said, they love what they do, right? And over the road, They're typically gonna know how to drive, what they drive, whatever equipment they drive, and they're gonna make anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000 a week. All right, that's your super trucker. In my opinion, the top dog is the professional truck driver. All right, the professional truck driver, they take their job serious, right? Just like the super trucker as well, right? They take their job serious, right? They're gonna think about the company as well as their self. They're gonna keep the company in mind, and they're not gonna, just because the company might pay for tires or pay for things, they're not gonna just tear the equipment up, because they're professional. These guys most likely are looking to buy their own truck one day, and these are the guys that's gonna make it in the industry for real. All right. Their attitude, they keep a professional attitude, right? They're not cursing out the shippers when they're not getting unloaded, or I'm sorry, the shippers when they're getting loaded, or the receivers when they're getting unloaded. They're not calling up the broker if they do have the broker information, cursing them out, doing all this. They're gonna handle themselves like a professional, right? They're gonna handle DOT like a professional, all right? They're gonna handle, everyone like a professional. They're gonna look professional, okay? They're not gonna get out the truck with flip-flops on at a flatbed place where they load lumber or whatever with maybe just a vest on with no hard hat on. They're not gonna do stuff like that. You know who's gonna do that? Your steering wheel holder. They're the ones that's gonna do that, all right? And they're gonna get kicked off the property and whatever. But they're gonna look professional. They're gonna get out and they're gonna have their clothes on, even if they're dirty or whatever. It don't matter. They're just not gonna walk around unsafe with their flip-flops on and no hard hat on, stuff like that. They're gonna carry themselves professional, so when the people deal with them, the shipper and the receiver is gonna look at them, or the shipping manager, and they're gonna have more respect for them. You know what I mean? And not just look at them like, oh, this truck driver coming in here, right? Because that's how they look at us, and look at people. Truck drivers tend to not really get that much respect. But I found out when you look professional, right? And another one, when you speak professional, right? You're not running in the shipping office and you got your headset on and you're hollering at your friend, or you're cursing all loud or whatever, or you might be getting into it with your wife or your husband or whatever. You're gonna speak professional. Hey, how you doing, sir? How you doing, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. I got my PO number. I'm coming to pick up. This shipping is going from here to here. What time would it be ready? What time would it be shipping? About how long do you think it'll be? Stuff like that. Not, hey, look, man, I got to go. Man, I got to get out of here, man. What time is? Look, I got to get out of what time? Not like that, all right? They're gonna be professional, right? And they're gonna maintain their equipment like the super trucker, but they might go a little bit further, right? They're gonna maintain the equipment. They're gonna do their pre-trips. They're gonna check the equipment. They're gonna make sure their tires are gonna make sure they got air in their tires so they don't tear the tires up, especially in the summertime. They're gonna be aware of brake check week that's coming up, by the way. They take their job very serious, okay? These guys and ladies tend to make $2,000 a week and more, all right? Their minimum is probably $1,800 to $2,000 a week. They're very valuable. Companies are always looking for these guys, and they will pay them the most that they can pay them. I do the same thing here today. I'm gonna try to get one of my guys on. I just don't want to, really, say his name or whatever. But we got drivers, that been made over $3,000, almost $4,000 in a week. They hover around 2,000. 2,000 is kind of their minimum. I don't even, if I calculate it right, I don't even think they got to run 2,000 miles to make $2,000 a week. All right. So anyway, that's your steering wheel holder, your super truck, and your professional driver. We went over that. So let's go on ahead and get into the next section, which we're going to talk about some money. All right. And break some of that down. All right, cool. Let's go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some money. So we're going to switch things up a little bit, and we're going to talk about a new driver on his first week. Let's see how much he made on his first week with us, right? So he's driving a Freightliner Cascadia, nothing special. He's on a double drop / RGN, tandem axle, nothing major, nothing too special. And yeah, so let's see. I had to actually fly him out to pick up the truck. So he started out on the East Coast, right? And let's see if I can pull it up. My bad, y'all. All right, cool. So his very first load, he flew out, went pick up the truck, checked out the trailer, stuff like that. Got in straight into the truck. His very first load was from Beaufort, South Carolina to Wilmington, North Carolina, which is in my notes is right at about 300 miles, 280 miles. Let's just, we can say 300 miles or whatever like that. It was a military load. He was able to get on both bases or whatever like that. So right at 280 miles, that came into right at $1,800 for that short run. Then after that, he actually sat a day. I can't really remember why, but he sat a day. We couldn't get a load or something like that. And the very next morning after that, he picked up a load out of Ridgeway, South Carolina, going to Pasadena, Texas. Typically not a run that I would book, but like I said, he flew out. He had nothing in the truck. I wanted to get him home so he can get all his things out the truck. And then I think he actually had to go home for something. I can't really remember. But anyway, the load was passing through the house. It was a load from Ridgeway, South Carolina to Pasadena, Texas. It was oversized, nothing major. I think it was like 9 feet or 9.5 feet wide or something like that. That was it. On 1,019 miles, it paid right at $3,700. All right. And then the next run was Houston. I got him a load on Friday right out of Houston. In my opinion, it really was kind of like a garbage load. But once again, it swung him through the house. I really tried my best to get my guys home on a weekend. He lives in Louisiana. So the load was coming out of Houston on Friday, going to Clarksville. Kind of a last minute deal because he was unloading all day. That paid on 900 miles, $2,500. We closed the week out on that. Very short week. It was right at 2,200 miles, looked like. Rate per mile, loaded miles was right at $364 a mile. The truck grossed right at $8,000. And he made right at $2,250. Almost $2,300. Not bad. Once again, he only ran 2,200 miles, right? So previously in the video, I was going over, different drivers and everything. And I just want to show you guys that when you pulling decent freight and you running decent equipment, you can make money. Don't get caught up into all the negative that everybody's spreading all over YouTube and Facebook and all that. Look, you can look at my previous videos. I don't hide anything. I'm very transparent. I'm an open book, right? In one of my other videos, I talked about how we had a great week, and the very next week we had a really bad week, right? So it's trucking, it's business, it is what it is, but there's money out here, all right? So for that week, the driver first started, like I said, he was a new driver. He had just started his very first week. He made right at $2,200, right? Almost $2,300. You know what I mean? In my opinion, on 2,200 miles, loaded miles, maybe all in with empty and loaded, he might have would have been at 2,500, 2,600 miles. You can't beat that, all right? So once again, this is Marco with Trucking the Cash Flow. If you need any help with anything, with dispatching services, or you need someone to lease on to, or you might be looking for a job, we might have an opening, right? Make sure to shoot me a message. Text me at 985-326-1699, and I'll be sure to get back with you, all right? So until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.